So awareness is the backbone of Buddhism. When we sit and meditate, our goal is to become fully and deeply aware, like we were when we were listening so intently. That's a good way to start your path on awareness when you sit and meditate. We really want to become so aware that we can feel it eventually the more we practice at the cellular level. And I would even go so far as to say that you practice Buddhism, to be Buddhist, is to practice awareness in your everyday life. You know, you don't just snap your fingers and say, I'm sitting and I'm aware and this is good stuff, and you're just the same all the time. You know how you're bringing your mind back when it drifts? You're doing that. If you're aware, you're doing that all day long. And when you catch yourself, it's a good thing. And when you spend 3 hours fighting traffic in the grocery store and finishing work and you don't do it, that's okay too. It's still a good day because you did it once or twice, right? So we're not just paying more attention throughout the day, but being deeply attentive. We're being an observer. We're seeing even ourselves in the third person. And so we're observing physically, mentally, emotionally, and we're going to be aware of not only those things in ourselves, but we're going to try to be aware of those things in others too. And that creates compassion, a space for compassion. So think about how we learn to approach things. We think outside. We live in space outside of ourselves. We move through things, we don't absorb them. We let things happen to us. We aren't a part of them. We project love outside, but we forget to also love ourselves and care for ourselves. We blame outwardly, right? But refuse to take responsibility for our part in situations. Even the best of us do this sometimes. We live outside and we forget the importance of what is on our inside, of the internal wisdom and power that we all have. And so we live in a state of perpetual blindness, a state of conscious awarelessness. Buddhists believe that we're born with an innate nature we call Buddha nature. Buddha nature is the inherent goodness, kindness, awareness, and purity that all children have. It's tabula rasa, if you think of Rousseau and some other philosophers. Over time, as we age and grow, life dumps little spadefuls of dirt on our naturally occurring Buddha nature. The amount of dirt is unique to each person. But slowly, over time, our Buddha nature begins to fade, and we lose sight of our goodness and our kindness. We become, zombies and unaware of that. Now, you may think that that's just horrible to lose our inherent goodness and our ability to be kind. How can we live our lives in a cloud of irritability, anger, and sadness? We can't. Believe me, I've tried my best. It doesn't really work. However, I would say, yes, that is all horrible. And while it doesn't work in the least to live that way, it's far worse to live in a state of unawareness. As an aside, when I took refuge, our version of baptism and confirmation, I did it with Sensei Morris, and he saw that I was still living in a fog after 20-something years of practicing Buddhism and going through life. And, who's surprised by that? But he felt I needed a little sun to burn off some of that fog, and so he gave me the name Kyri-yo, which means fog sun. And that's emblematic, I think, of all of us. Awareness helps to burn that fog off. So now you're probably thinking that doesn't make sense. Awareness is not as important as happiness, kindness, love, and a myriad of other attributes. But I say it is not only as important, it's more important. Awareness is more important than all those things, because without a keen sense of awareness, we don't have a foundation for genuine and lasting goodness, kindness, love, or anything else. Without awareness, it's just another day in the same place. Awareness is what I call the sixth sense. We have our sight, our ability to taste, to hear, to touch, and to smell, but without awareness, those are simply things our body is capable of doing. Awareness allows our other 5 senses to work more deeply. With awareness, these senses will no longer just provide our brains with information. The information will be enriched, our lives altered to some degree by their mere presence. In Buddhism, we talk about being present. Without awareness, no one can be fully present. We talk about letting go of the past, not creating future wreckage by dreaming of the future, but simply existing in each moment we are gifted. Presence is only made possible through awareness. Maybe you're wondering what a life that lacks awareness looks like. Don't worry, we've got plenty of examples. A life lived without awareness is a life that fails to consider the ripple. What's the ripple? The ripple is the natural occurrence that any of our decisions or actions create. We call this karma. Might sound familiar, right? Or Newton's third law. The ripple effect means that every one of our actions has an equal and opposite reaction. Every little thing that we do or think and then act upon will affect someone. Many people, in fact. Makes you want to choose more wisely, right? Okay, so examples of what unawareness looks like in action. I'll start with a really obvious one. Politicians. I know that's not fair. That one's probably too obvious. Not a shred of awareness there. How about Lance Armstrong? That's a good one. Good old Lance. Bless his soul. Like politicians, lives a life mired in attachment to the self. He cares about winning. He cares about image. He cares about things. He forgets that the things he cares about and the actions he takes to achieve those things causes wreckage for those in his wake. He dopes, his whole team gets in trouble. He shames his family. He loses the very foundation, live strong, that he created to help others, or maybe just to help his image, who knows? And of course, being a good little Buddhist, I have to include a Buddhist example. There's a Zen koan or teaching story about a teacher and his pupil, Tokusan. One night, Tokusan went to Ryotan, his teacher, to ask for his teaching. After Tokusan's many questions, Ryotan said to him, "It's late, why don't you retire?" So Tokusan bowed, lifted the screen, and was ready to go out, observing, "It's very dark outside." Ryotan lit a candle and offered it to Tokusan. And just as Tokusan went to take it, Ryotan blew out the candle. At that moment, the mind of the student was open. He became aware. He realized that with awareness comes deeper understanding. You have to be in the dark to see sometimes. Now maybe you're starting to feel like, oh, this strange little woman might have a good point here. Maybe I could use some more awareness. But I don't think most of us know the first thing about Buddhism. We don't know how to make ourselves more aware and more present. Not to worry, no one needs to go shaving their head and climbing the Himalayas. As we move through our days, months, and years, we have a choice. We can see things in different ways. We might choose to move quickly through life, through the world, unaware of anything around us, just getting it done, forever on our way to the next thing. We may take a slower path, making connections, reminding ourselves to be present, forever catching ourselves, living our lives through the eyes of others sometimes. We remind ourselves to be present. Maybe we're trying really hard, and we're reminding ourselves to be present all the time. And we focus on every moment, and we make ourselves unnaturally aware, because we're always going, oh, be aware, be aware. We could just slow down. We could live life as it happens, absorbing moments as they come and go, being single-mindedly focused on each breath sometimes, each task, each touch, each bite. Whatever we encounter becomes a moment of presence and understanding. Or as we say in Buddhism, a teacher. We find teachers of awareness in everything we do. Even opening a door or taking out the trash. At some point in our lives, each of us hits a crossroads, a moment where an important choice has to be made. Sometimes those crossroad moments are a big bang in our lives. It certainly was in mine. And sometimes they're a whimper. Sometimes they come over and over again, persistently asking for our attention. And when they do come, we must choose to change or remain the same. We may be like those folks rushing by in the street unaware of that blind man begging. We may rush by, be aware, and keep on going. That's a New Yorker for you, right? Maybe we are the beggar, completely in tune with our surroundings, experiencing life through sound, through the other senses. We might even be the gentleman that writes the note and causes people to pause and appreciate the spring day and what they have. We live in a time where fully experiencing our world is frightening, where uncertainty abounds, where we feel untethered as things change rapidly all around us. In order to pass through this life with meaning, we must be both the gentleman and the beggar. Being in tune with our surroundings, observing deeply, looking inward, rooting into this life experience through the senses available to us, like the beggar, shows us who we are, where we are, and shapes the raw physicality of each moment, affording us a vibrant landscape in which to be present. That's smelling the roses at the minute level, right? Now think of the gentleman that notices the beggar as he passes by, putting himself in the beggar's shoes, intuitively knowing that his experience of a spring day is different, limited. This man has compassion and empathy for those around him. He is aware in each moment. He sees teachers all around him, and he is able to bring the message of this awareness to others. This is our job as citizens in good standing in the universe. Live a life that is the embodiment of this kind of awareness, the good, the peace, the unity that we wish to see in this world. There's a Christian prayer that some of you may know that I think perfectly sets this intention for us. I address this prayer to the universe because I'm an angry ex-Catholic. And I encourage all of you to do it. Just kidding. So the prayer goes, Universe, I offer myself to thee, to build with me and do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Relieve me of my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy peace, thy love, and thy way of life. What that means to me is we're letting the universe drop breadcrumbs, and we're humbly taking those up. Here we're acknowledging how little we really know, how humble we need to be, and what we need to be of service to this world. We need to be of service to this world. We need to be the guy putting the note in the jar, right, and bringing awareness to others. That awareness of all of this is the key to adding to the stream of life rather than continually taking from it. It's like those Liberty Mutual commercials. Somebody opens a door for somebody, that person picks up the kid's blanket, and so on and so forth. So we need to open the door. We need to be the first domino. As we move through this life, the best version of existence is available to us whenever we choose. That's one thing we have control over. By simply using awareness to understand ourselves, everything, and everyone around us. So that's creating a compassionate worldview. If we look at each other with awareness, we can then be compassionate towards each other, right? We must treat each day like that spring day and enter the flow of the day blind, open to all experiences, good and bad, open to full awareness in each moment. If we do that, each day can be the best day. And it's important to remember that you can start each day over at any time. Just take a breath. Watch your breath. You can get back on the beam and center yourself at any moment. So, I ask you, who had the best spring day in that story? The gentleman or the beggar? Maybe both. Maybe even all of us. Thank you.